Hey guys, and welcome to Yoga with Brianna. Today we're going to be talking about Pawanmuktasana Series number 1. That's the Anti-Rheumatic group. It's really good for opening up the joints, loosening up the body, and really increasing range of movement. It's one of my favorite series to work with because it's really safe for the body. There are next to no contraindications, and those are things to keep in mind so that you don't injure yourself during your practice. It's something that I use in almost all of the therapeutic work I do with people. It's great to have at home to do on your own. Once you get really used to it, it doesn't take very long either. It's great for people with arthritis, rheumatism, high blood pressure, heart issues, or any other illness or injury for which really vigorous exercise is not recommended. I tend to do a lot of work with people who have either chronic pain or autoimmune illness, and any type of, obviously chronic pain exhausts the body, but anybody who's dealing with some sort of chronic illness also tends to have a lot of exhaustion. Your body is so busy being tired, or your body is so busy dealing with being so sick all the time that your adrenal system and your energy is just shot. So a lot of times vigorous exercise doesn't help people who are dealing with chronic illness actually heal their bodies and get out of that cycle of exhaustion and sickness. So Pawanmuktasana is one of the easiest ways to not only start healing the body, but in a way that isn't going to impact the exhaustion. It's actually going to boost your healing journey rather than impede it, and you're not going to be left feeling really exhausted after you do those movements. So one note about the series, the movements may look really easy, and that's because it's much more of a mental exercise than it is a physical exercise, even though the physical impacts are quite profound. It really helps to improve your coordination, your self-awareness, and your self-confidence. It's going to help to rewire the brain so that the left side and the right side communicate a little bit more effectively. It can help over time rebalance muscular imbalances within the body. It's going to start to target some really basic foundational muscle groups in the body and build up their strength and endurance. And I guarantee if you were to do Pawanmuktasana Series 1 every single day for 30 days, you would see some sort of huge transformation in your body or in your physical practice of some sort, whether it's opening up into a new pose or having the strength to move into a strength-bearing pose more effectively. It's really quite profound. For some people, it's being able to sit on the ground without pain for extended periods of time. Whatever your goal is, and you may not even have a purposeful goal in your mind and be intentionally working towards it yet, but something huge is going to shift for you if you do Pawanmuktasana every single day, at least a little bit. So we're going to go through it all today together and learn how to use this to the fullest advantage. So another note that I'd like to bring up about the series, there's 3 levels of awareness that you can be performing these movements with. So the first level is a very basic physical awareness. You're thinking about how the movements feel in the physical body. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the program. The second level is having that physical awareness and also bringing the breath awareness and the breath synchronization into it. I usually like to start at this second level unless it's really, really difficult, in which case we just forget about the breath and work with the physical awareness for now. But bringing the breath awareness into it really helps to make that mind-body connection something that's a lot stronger and a lot easier and more natural for you. And after you start doing that for a long time consistently, that third level awareness starts to open up to you, which is far more subtle, and it has a lot to do with feeling those subtle energy systems of the body and starting to work with them a little bit more and increase our awareness of those more subtle energetic fluctuations. So if we've been working together, that's something we'll naturally gravitate into. If you've been doing Pawanmuktasana on your own for a while and really connecting that breath and movement pattern, and you're interested in learning about the third level, reach out to me. Send me a message on Facebook, Instagram. You can always email me through the website, and I can talk a little bit more about that third level. But you will have had to be practicing at level 2 for quite some time and really building that breath-body movement connection in order for the third level of awareness to start to open up to you. Pawanmuktasana is normally done from the floor. With that being said, if getting down on the floor isn't very comfortable for you, you can absolutely do it in bed, you can do it from a chair. And if you have some questions on how to do that properly, feel free to reach out, send me an email, get a hold of me through social media, and I can give you a few tips on how to bring a chair or other type of prop into your practice to make it more accessible. But we often start off in what is called Paramdikstiti. This is the base position. So you're sitting on the ground, your spine is nice and straight, your feet are out straight in front of the body, your hands are palms on the ground, fingers facing away from the body, and maybe about 6 or 8 inches away from the body. And we're not leaning into the arms by any means, we're not slumping back, we're still keeping ourselves very straight through the spine and engaging the core to hold the body upright. But the hands kind of come behind to prop us up nicely so we don't fatigue the core. And once you get used to sitting down here, it can actually become a very comfortable and relaxed sitting position. So let's actually take a few moments to sit here. Think about lengthening up right through the spine. Starting to breathe deeply. Come into more of a place of presence for our practice. And the first exercise is going to focus on our toes. It's called Padanguli Naman. Padanguli meaning the toes, Naman meaning a bending action, so forward and back. And we'll see these words come together a little bit more throughout the series. Essentially, your foot is going to stay very static in this movement, and only the toes are moving. So I see some people start to do this. We'll get to that, but this is not what we're doing right now. Right now, we're just moving with the toes. So we'll inhale and pull the toes towards the body. Exhale and slowly move the toes away. Inhale, toes towards the body. And exhale, toes away. We really want to make the movement slow and mindful as we connect the movement to the breath. In all of the exercises of Pawanmuktasana, you want to start off with about 3 repetitions, working your way up to 10. If 3 is already really easy to do as you move through the whole program, 3 repetitions of everything, absolutely increase it to 5. If 5 is really easy, take a jump to 7. And once 7 is really easy, aim for 10. So, Padanguli Naman, just working with those toes. And when we're thinking about how things feel, you can think about, how does the arch of your foot feel as you move your toes? How do the bones on the top of the foot feel? How does the movement feel through the ankle, through the calf, through the shin? We start to become aware of how our body moves and how it feels as it moves. So the next one, we get into that ankle bending motion. Gulf Naman. Gulf referring to the ankle. Naman referring to this forward and back motion. So again, we're going to slow the movements down and connect them with our breath. Inhaling the feet towards the body. Exhale the feet away. And if you've worked with me before, you know I'm quite the fan of the audible exhale. Inhale. So feel free to make them audible as you let go of that breath and that tension. Exhale those feet away. And continue at your own pace, inhaling the feet towards the body. Exhaling those feet away. Again, becoming aware of how all the movements feel. How do your feet feel as you make these movements? How do your calves feel? Where do you notice tension? Where do you notice a lot of ease? And again, starting with about 3 repetitions in each direction and increasing to 10. Exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to start rounding the feet in circles. Inhaling on the upwards movement, exhaling on the downward movement. Inhale up. Exhale down. Keeping the legs together and straight. Making the circles as big as you can. This is called Gulf Chakra. Gulf referring to the ankles. Chakra referring to the circles we're making. And you can reverse the rotation, inhaling the other direction, exhaling down. How does it all feel as you move? Good job. And take a minute just to shake out the legs a little bit. Realign your posture, and we're going to get started on some more exercises. So, we're in Pawanmuktasana. We're going to deepen some of the ankle work, and to do that, we're actually going to bring the ankles up onto the thigh. So let's start by bending the right leg and bringing the right foot somewhere onto the left leg. Up here may not be comfortable. Yours may feel a little bit more comfortable farther down along the leg. Wherever you can sit up comfortably, again, making sure that your spine is nice and straight. And we don't want to force the action, but we just want to make some circles with our feet. Breathing normally and deeply here. Opening up that ankle. And in the other direction. This is called Gulf Gurnen. It's called the ankle crank. Because we're manipulating the ankle joint in this fashion. And again, we can start with 3 repetitions in each direction, increase to 10, or as many as feels good for you that day. Let's switch this over to the other leg. So slowly bend that leg down. If you have issues with your knees, I would slowly bend it back up again to the groin, straighten it, and then put it out that way. And it'll just make sure to realign that knee joint properly for you. So let's go ahead and lift our left leg onto our right. Again, you might notice that this foot feels different and maybe it feels comfortable in a different spot. But find that comfort spot and start to slowly crank that ankle. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Breathing slowly and explore that ankle joint. Other direction. And how it all feels. This is kind of cool too because your other hand will be anchoring that raised leg onto your solid leg, and you can kind of feel how the muscles move as you manipulate your foot and crank it. You know, does it feel different as you move the foot in the opposite direction? And again, unbend your leg, and if you notice that knees are an issue for you, I'd bend it back towards the groin, straighten it up, and then bend it out, and that'll make sure everything's nice and realigned. We can wiggle out our legs. So, along with Pawanmuktasana not being a strenuous exercise, anytime you're starting to feel fatigued, definitely give yourself a break, whether it's in Pawanmuktasana, or if you want to lie all the way down and relax in some Shavasana, whatever feels accessible to you. But give yourself a few breaths and then come back to it. You should never feel fatigued or straining, and that goes in regards to how many repetitions you're doing, as well as how many breaks you're taking in between the different sets of movements. Next, we're going to work with some kneecap contractions. Kneecap contractions. These are fun, and anybody who has dealt with knee alignment issues, chondromalacia patellae, this is a very beneficial exercise for really engaging the quads in a way that hold the kneecap in the right alignment. So it's one that I have to do daily. So essentially, you're just going to contract all the muscles around your kneecap, kind of lifting them up. It's a strange sensation to cue, but really as long as you take a deep breath, and let's start with one leg at a time. Let's focus just on the right leg. So contract that right leg, and you'll notice everything will tighten up. Hold it for a few seconds, exhale and let go. Let's try the left leg now. Contract. You can see how it kind of goes lower. Hold and let go. So another good way of cueing yourself to contract the right muscles is to almost imagine that you're pushing your knees down towards the floor. And this engages the correct muscles to get that kneecap contraction. You always want to hold for a few moments, and then let go. So let's try both together. Contract, hold, let go. Contract, hold, let go. Contract, hold, let go. I always like to add a nice deep breath in between each contraction. It allows the body to connect to that breath a lot more. And again, start with 3 and work your way up from there. Next, we're going to move into Janu Naman. This is knee bending. So we'll bend our right leg, placing the right foot on the floor, and interlocking our hands behind that knee. We're going to inhale, engage, and lift the foot about a foot off the floor. So let's try that. Inhale, straighten, and lift. Hold. Exhale, back down. You don't want to be leaning into the support of your hands very much. They just kind of guide the movement so that everything engages in a really friendly manner. Again, we want to start with about 3 of these and work up to 10 on the right side and then on the left side. And remembering to really lift up through the spine so you've got that nice posture. Inhale and lift. And exhale down. Inhale and lift. And exhale down. To get out of the pose, exhale your foot flat and inhale the opposite foot up. Again, interlacing those fingers behind the leg. Sitting up nice and tall, engaging that core. Inhale and lift. And exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And exhale that foot right down. So there is a stage 2 of Janu Naman that we're going to try together, and it's a little bit more advanced because we're going to be moving both legs together. So if it's something that you're working up towards, feel free to use a block as a prop in this exercise, and actually by placing it between the thighs, you're going to be able to better engage your core in a healthier way. So that's a good tool to keep on hand for some of these movements. But essentially, instead of interlacing the fingers, we're just going to place one on each thigh. We really want to squeeze our legs together through this to engage everything appropriately. Deep breath in. Exhale, extend. In. Exhale. In. Try to balance. Exhale. In. Exhale. In. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. The next exercise is really going to wake up these knees. So, similar to Janu Naman, we're going to be doing knee cranks this time. So, Janu Gurnan. If you remember, ankle crank, Gulf Gurnan. This is Janu Gurnan. And essentially, we want to create circles with our feet to really open up that knee joint. Inhaling on the upwards movement. Exhaling on the downward movement. And we can switch directions. Inhale, exhale. And exhale that leg right down. Let's try it on the other side. I like to move my stationary lower leg off to the side a little bit just to give my foot more room to make a circle without hitting it. So let's inhale and raise, exhale and lower. Again, starting with about 3 repetitions in each direction and progressing to 10. In the other direction, inhaling up, exhaling down. And exhale that foot right down. Let's start to waken up those hip joints. So, starting with our feet out in front of us, let's inhale and bring the right foot up onto the left thigh. And we're just going to do some half butterfly movements. So, Ardha Titali Asana. I know that the butterfly pose is often referred to as Baddha Konasana, bound angel, in the other Sanskrit dialect. But in the tradition I learned, we called it Purna Titali Asana, which means full butterfly pose. And this is Ardha Titali Asana, half butterfly pose. Starts to really awaken those inner hips so that you can move into the full expression a little bit more easily. So, right foot as high up as it's comfortable. We're just going to slowly start to open that hip joint. You're not really placing any pressure, just using your hand to lift and lower. Start to say hello to that hip joint. Say, I see you. We're going to start moving you. Do about 10 of these. They shouldn't be too strenuous, but don't push yourself. Less is fine as well. Exhale that leg right down. Let's inhale the left leg up. We'll do the same on this side. And this is going to make coming into the full Titali Asana a lot easier. So this is Purna Titali Asana, full butterfly pose, where your feet are on the floor, the soles of your feet are touching. And you know, your feet may not be as close to the groin. Some people are more comfortable out here. Wherever your knees can come as close to the floor as possible, and you're feeling a stretch in the inner thighs and the groin area, but it's not unpleasant. You also want to make sure you're able to sit up nice and tall. We don't want to be slouched forward to accommodate some of these movements. So keeping a healthy little curve at the lower back there. Bring your feet in as close as they are comfortable. And just breathe normally as you start to pump your legs a little bit. Letting gravity open them up. Stretch them right open. If you want to deepen the stretch a little bit, you can actually use your elbows or your hands to put a little bit of pressure on your inner thigh. Just to encourage a little bit of a deeper opening. If you want to bend forward, make sure that you just keep your back nice, rather than, hunching over. Let's keep the back nice and straight, lengthening out through the sternum as we forward fold. And the dynamic movement can actually help you get deeper. So I like to sometimes inhale up, exhale, fold. Inhale up and stretch. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. And by then I can usually chill down here for a little while, quite comfortably. Give myself a chance to breathe through the release of those inner hip muscles and the lower back muscles. And you can come back up to a sitting position. So we've pretty much worked through the lower body, and most of the focus is going to be on the upper body now. So let's get started with that. So for the upper body exercises, you can really come to any kind of a position, sitting position that is comfortable for you. If you find that sitting on the floor without your hands supporting you is a little bit uncomfortable, you can place a folded blanket or even a single block right under the bum. And that little bit of elevation is actually enough to really take a lot of the pressure off of the back and allow you to sit up nice and straight a little bit easier. Okay. Let's get started. So the first one is Mustika Bandha. So the first upper body exercise is Mustika Bandhana. It is a hand clenching exercise that moves each finger individually, and because of this, it's really effective at remapping the brain and generating or encouraging the brain to develop new neural pathways and learn new skills and change the way it functions. It's really exciting. So we're going to inhale the hands up. Stretch those fingers wide, 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 wide. Take another deep breath in. And as we exhale, slowly curl one by one. Each finger over to make a fist. Inhale for the next inhale and slowly open each finger one at a time. Exhale, slowly closing each finger. Inhale, slowly widening them and giving them a good stretch. And continue that at your own breath pace, exhaling the hand shut. Inhaling the fingers wide for about 3 repetitions, working your way up to 10. The next movement is Mani Bandha Naman, and especially after you've gone through the Mani Bandha and especially after you've gone through the Mustika Bandhana, I want you to really pay attention to how the ligaments and the muscles feel throughout the forearm and the wrists, and even up through here as we go through Mani Bandha Naman. Now again, we have that Naman Now again, we have that Naman word coming up. So Mani Bandha refers to the hands, or the hands and the wrists. Mani Bandha Naman refers to that back and forth bending action. So we already know that we're going to be bending the wrists. So inhaling the arms up, palms facing forward, fingers together. Exhale and bend those hands down. Palms are now facing you. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. On your next inhale, after you've done your set repetitions, inhale those arms wide open and up. This is going to feel even different. Exhale those hands down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. When you're finished, bringing the hands back to center and lowering them down. Again, starting with about 3 repetitions and moving up to 10. 10 up and down in the front, 10 up and down to the sides. Now we're going to move on to Mani Bandha Chakra. So again, Mani Bandha, we're talking about the wrists and the hands. Chakra, we're talking about a rotation, a circular movement. Breath will be more neutral throughout this. There isn't a synchronization quite as much, but you do want to breathe slowly, mindfully, and deeply throughout the practice. So starting to inhale and breathe normally, and let's just make circles with our wrists. This one, it's really easy to do 10 or more in each direction because the circles feel real nice. And in the other direction. If you feel like you need a little extra love, go for it. I like to do this several times throughout the day. But pay attention to how everything feels and how everything moves as you make those movements. Next, we're going to start moving into the shoulders and the arms a little bit more with Kahuni Naman. Kahuni is referring to our elbows. Naman, again, is referring to that bending action. So let's inhale our arms out, palms facing upwards at shoulder level. Exhale and bend to touch the shoulders, keeping your upper arms relatively static, not moving. Inhale out. Exhale, touch the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Starting with about 3 repetitions and moving up to 10. So after that, let's inhale and open our arms to the sides. Inhaling those arms all the way up. Exhaling to bend and touch the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And go ahead and bring your shoulders back around and lower those arms down. As a little muscular building tip here, once you've become very familiar with all of the arm exercises, it's really interesting to work with doing all of them 10 or more repetitions each without giving yourself a break in between any of the movements. And for me, that's a huge victory and improvement, because when I first started working with Pawanmuktasana, I could barely do 10 repetitions of each arm exercise, let alone hold them up there. I was like, oh my God, having to support myself. So to be at a level where I can sit here comfortably and do all 10 in a row without the fatigue is pretty cool. And to me, it's a nice challenge to warm up the muscles and get them all activated that way. So once you're progressing to that level, it might be something to play around with a little bit. But we're going to move into some Skanda Chakra. So Skanda is now referring to our shoulders. Chakra, again, to that rotation. So we're going to be, again, inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement, touching our shoulders. And I like to start by bringing the arms together in the center, moving upward. So inhaling up, making the circles as large as is comfortable. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Down. And again, starting at about 3 rotations in each direction and increasing to 10. Inhale up, exhale down. And then we're going to come to the point where we reverse the rotation. So inhale up, exhale down towards the center this time. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And exhale your arms all the way down. This is such an amazing movement for relieving fatigue and tension through the upper back, the chest, the shoulders, especially for anybody who tends to sit a lot during the day. You work at a desk, you study, you read a lot, you're on your phone a lot. Anything that kind of adds to the tension and the strain in that area is going to be greatly relieved by this exercise. And it encourages better posture and better alignment. So it's a great one to do every day, and it feels like such a good massage. So get it in there. The final movements have to do with the neck. We've worked from the toes all the way up the body, and now we're at the head, working with Grivas and Shalanasana. And these are all of the neck movements, and there's quite a few of them. This is the one area where there is a little bit of a contraindication when it comes to Pawanmuktasana Series 1. The neck is a very sensitive area, so you really want to be careful. You want to move slowly and very, very mindfully. If anything starts to cause you discomfort or pain, move out of it and wrap up your practice. The neck can be a really sensitive area, especially for anybody who's younger or in their more elder years or has suffered an accident in that area, or if you have postural defects or issues that you're working with, the neck could be extra sensitive. So move with caution, move with care, and move in a way that makes your body feel good. Another little point is if at any point you start to get lightheaded or dizzy, it's a good idea to move out of this practice as well. Sometimes with the increased breath, the increased oxygen in the blood, as well as when we start to move our necks, we free up a lot of blood flow and energy in the area. And this can be very overwhelming. So you can start to feel a little bit dizzy or a little bit lightheaded throughout the movement. And if you experience that, wrap up your practice and end it for the day and come back to it. It'll be something that slowly opens up to you a little bit more with time. So again, making sure our spines are nice and straight. I like to start with just some simple directional movements of the head. And I like to let gravity do a lot of the work. So you're just letting the weight of your head be what stretches out the neck at this point. So take a deep breath in, exhale, and let the head drop forward. Letting the back of the neck stretch out. Inhale, raise the head back up to center. Exhale, and drop the head backwards. This time letting the front of the throat stretch out nicely. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, drop the head forward. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale the head right back. Inhale up. Exhale the head down. Inhale up. Exhale the head back. Inhale back to center. I like to do about 3 in each direction. That often feels like enough. If you'd like to do more, absolutely pause the video or on your own time, get back at it. We're going to start with moving left to right now. So take another deep breath in. Exhale the head towards the right shoulder, feeling a deep stretch along the left side of the neck. Inhale back up. Exhale to the right, left. Stretches on the right side of the neck. Inhale up. Exhale, head to the right shoulder, stretch on the left. Inhale up, head to the left, stretch on the right. Enjoy it, breathe through it. Inhale back up, let's do 1 more on each side. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Inhale back up. Now we're actually going to be turning our head. So exhale and turn the head to the right, feeling a nice stretch along the left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, looking to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, looking to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right 1 last time. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left 1 last time. Inhale, center. And the final movement is to make some circles with our neck. This is where you want to be extra mindful. We want to make the circles nice and big. We want to really feel the release through our necks, but we also don't want to overstretch. So I like to start by taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, drop the head forward. And inhale to start to raise the head and make the circle. Inhaling on the upward movement. Exhaling as you round and come back down. Inhale up. Exhale down, really making the circles wide. And you can switch direction, inhaling the other way. And exhaling down. Great work. Starting with about 3 in each direction and increasing it from there if you like. But I normally find with the neck movements, 3 in each direction is more than enough to loosen up that area. And the amount of relief you're going to feel of tension, of pain, of tight muscles is just incredible. After I spend a lot of time at a desk or sitting down, it's something I definitely love to do. So thank you again for joining me with the Pawanmuktasana Series 1, the Anti-Rheumatic group. It's very powerful, very subtle movements, but the effect that they have on the body is really quite profound. And once you get to know it, you shouldn't even have to have a video guiding you through it. You should just know it, and it takes you right through. You can do it on your own, and it can take as little as 15 or 20 minutes a day. But the effects that you see long term are just incredible. And if you want to hear some of the success stories I've had with it, feel free to reach out. So thank you again, and have a great day, guys. Enjoy your practice, and namaste.